What's going on? How is everyone?
Good, Patrick. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, good. It's a good week. Starting to get warm here in Texas a little bit, which is nice. And getting out, enjoying things a little bit. You know, I went and looked at joining a boat club this last week, which it's not going to work out. But, you know, I've got this idea that I'm not spending enough time having fun and doing stuff outside, which I think, you know, we talked about this a few times. It's important to reset, to go out there and enjoy things. So I'm trying to take some conscious efforts to that, because if you know, if you don't put it on the calendar, if you don't try to come up with a plan to make it happen, it just seems like time goes by and it doesn't actually happen. So I hope you guys are doing that with your, you know, with everything you guys are doing, because in this industry, things never end, right? There's no end where we're like done with this. There's always the next site that we want to build, or, you know, we can improve this site, right? We can pick up more rankings in this area. So knowing that there's no end in this, you got to set some time aside and like check out from it a little bit and have some fun. Otherwise, it'll just go on forever like this. So, and it's easy to do. And I've kind of myself, I've been subject to that. So I'd love to hear, does anybody have any wins? Anything to celebrate this week? Anyone?
I had a landscaper. Finally, I'm getting leads from a site I've had going for 6 months. It's a competitive niche in Sarasota.
Yeah.
And, he's starting to get some work, so he stopped by today because he does my house now too. So that's a part of it. And he said, I'll give you 500 for this month. We'll do 10% for next month. And he knows I want to get to 1,000 as soon as possible. And he might have $100,000 deal out of some of the stuff. So
that's great, man. That's cool.
I'm working on another concrete one that's a franchise. And he said, if this works and then the next one works, there's 80 other franchises. So
yeah, that's huge. That was kind of a big step for me, as I connected with the manufacturer, and they were able to feed me. It wasn't like a franchise or franchisee relationship. It was a manufacturer contractor relationship where they were just able to feed me their best people from around the country once we built that trust, you know. So my advice to you is, you know, just make sure you really hit it out of the park on this first one for them. Do whatever you can to prove it, and make sure you set the expectations well for this, because that was certainly a pivotal thing for us in our business.
Well, what I'm doing, because honestly, I haven't even made it through the training yet because I'm so busy. And so I did all done for yous, and I've partnered up with a bunch of other JKers and different sites and stuff. And I'm actually a big time JKer is coming on board to do those concrete ones with me. And I'm doing sales for other JK. I sold five sites yesterday for a JK in California. So I haven't had time to train. I kind of did this bass backwards. You know, it's like,
I mean, sounds like you've got money coming in from a few different angles though.
Yeah, but I need to know what I'm selling. So I gotta put the brakes on and start. I gotta learn this stuff, and I'm really looking. If I could get leads, I could get sales all day. You know, I have people, all kinds of sites I'm not getting money from because I'm not really getting the leads yet.
Right.
But they're willing to pay me. You know, it's just that to me in this business, I could sell this stuff all day long, but the downfall to me is having an abundance of leads.
Right. Yeah, it's when you get to that's kind of a spot where we are to some extent, where we're like, I have no doubt in our ability to close people. It's just a question, how quickly can we build things and get stuff lined up? Because, you know, I did a call this morning with a guy named Howard from the JK group, and you know, I was talking to him about this. You don't really start making good money until the thing starts ranking, regardless of like how you structure this thing. Everything is not on autopilot until the site is ranking, right? And then it's bringing stuff in. And it's, there's people like you that can pre-sell, right? And that's great. But when you pre-sell, you've started a clock where the person is paying you, but maybe they're not getting leads. And how long is that going to go on for until you can get them start producing leads? Or you can run ads. And if you're running ads, you're not really making that much money, if any. You could be like, in our case, we lost money a lot of times when we were running ads because we're spending the money on ads to try to keep the person happy. And it's just putting more pressure on us. So it's like, what really matters is getting the sites in there and getting them ranking. Once you do that, the ones that, we haven't necessarily had to touch in a couple of years, and we just collect the money month in and month out, are the ones that are ranking. And those are the ones that pay for the other ones, right? Those are the ones that are profitable. So it's also, it's dramatically easier, exponentially easier to sell something for you guys that are not confident in the sales. For some of you guys that are maybe introverted, or maybe you just don't have confidence in this completely, it's so much easier to sell something when you have something somebody wants in your hand, right? Like, it's easier to sell a Ferrari if it's sitting on the curb than this, like, hey, let me tell you about this car that doesn't exist. Do you want to buy it? Right? So like, getting the site ranking, getting it set up and getting the leads coming in makes everything easier, and it's more profitable for you. So, everybody talks about like prospecting. I think prospecting is a great thing to do and making offers, but it's been my experience that it's not really that awesome until you have leads coming in, and that's where it, that's where it starts to be really profitable. The skill that you have, though, Neil, I mean, that's one of the most valuable skills that we can have in business, and it's something that we all should be working at. For those of you guys that, hey, I'm introverted, you kind of have two options when you start this business. Is like, one, you learn the skills, or two, you hire somebody to learn the stuff. My opinion is one, and I know that's going to be it's going to be harder for some of you guys. Some of you guys that maybe you're not comfortable talking to people, but like, the sales skill, in my opinion, is one of the most important ones that you can develop in life, whether you're selling to your clients or to the people that work for you, or maybe to some girl that you want to go out on a date with, right? Like, it's all comes back to this ability to communicate, and it is something that can be learned, right? If you look at, like Ipe said a few times, that like he went and studied all this stuff and then became one of these top salesmen at JK. He had to like hone his craft, right, and get better at it. So I think it's certainly something that we can all learn to do. Neil, congratulations, man. Is this your first like client that is paying you for your first kind of like bit of leads that it sounds like you sold for some other people, but for your own stuff?
It is for my own stuff. Like, on top of that, today I sold a towing site and a window tint site for another JKer. And the thing is, if I could I just need to get with somebody, because we work a reciprocal too, because they're on some of my sites. They're supposed to be getting me the leads and stuff, and I'll throw 40% all day long of what I'm getting monthly if someone's getting me leads. Right. I'm trying to, and I got to learn this stuff. I owned a successful business for 23 years, and I knew it inside and out, though. So you got to know what you're selling.
Yep.
And just like when someone's asking me questions when I'm doing the prospecting or what have you, you kind of got to know the niche too,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And so, yeah, to me, the sales, do I look forward to it? Do I get up and go, oh, great, I get to call people, cold call people? No, but it's something I'm pretty good at. I can close them, but majority of these aren't money up front, so to me, that's easy. It's like, look, I'm going to send you some leads for a week or two, then I'm going to get back to you, then we can talk dough, and and I kind of get a rapport with them, and I try to ahead of time, what do you make, what's your average sale, just so I know what we can even be asking for too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, knowing the niche, knowing the value and their profit margin, you can kind of determine what the value is that you're actually providing to them. You can build a lot of trust and a lot of rapport when you start speaking their language too.